We just clicked record. So here we are. And we are recording again. We did click record, right? It is recording. Good. It is recording. So not that far. So first hurdle overcome. Welcome, everybody. This is our weekly challenge. We're adjusting things a little bit. We're going to try not to be as talky and chatty as we have been in the past. We're going to keep these a little bit shorter to just get sort of right to the meat. So very quickly, this is the Developreneur Podcast, if you haven't figured that one out. Building Better Developers. This is the YouTube version of it. So this is a bonus. You don't get the audio of this stuff. You're here. You don't get it anywhere else unless it's pirated or something like that, I guess. That being said, we're going to dive into this one. Introductions. I'm Rob Broadhead, one of the founders of Developreneur, also the founder of RB Consulting, where we help you find clarity. We help you avoid costly technology mistakes before they happen. Good thing and bad thing. Good thing is it is a busy week. I have a vacation coming up in a couple of days, so and it's a partial vacation because I'm going to be working part of it. So that's awesome. I'm going to be very much looking forward to this, to having a little bit of time hanging out on the beach while my wife is on a girls' trip, checking out all of the Riesling places in the world, like the best Riesling vineyards in the world. But that's okay, because I'll be on a beach exploring some Italian wines, apparently. The bad thing is, days like today, because I'm working and I'm doing a full day, everything gets jammed into these couple of days. So I'm going to be a little bit, slap happy possibly as we're getting into this. More importantly, is Michael's on the other side and he's going to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Meloche. I'm one of the co-founders of Developreneur, Building Better Developers. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where we help growing service businesses eliminate bottlenecks, automate operations, and build systems to scale through process discovery, automation, and custom software solutions. Good thing and bad thing. Good thing, it was a beautiful weekend. Bad thing, we had a lot of bad, late afternoon thunderstorms. So we had a little bit of damage, but had a pretty enjoyable weekend.
That is not bad way to get through a weekend, at least. So this week, hopefully you have, if you haven't, go back and check it out. We talked to Samuel Latero, and this was to me, this is a really fun one to get back to really more like the developer roots a little bit. We've had a couple of those, and a couple of you guys will see as we're getting into the season. We've sort of changed gears a little bit and gotten a little more geeky, I guess, as part of this. And Samuel was a great guest for this. I think there's a lot there to learn. We talked about imposter syndrome. I think that the more important thing, though, was I really liked the focus on humility, how he was the star of his high school and college and everything, was doing so good. It was just everybody loved him. He was awesome. And he gets into the real world as he gets out to his first job. And he realizes that he's got a long way to go. And this is critical because one of the things that he acknowledged is it wasn't that he lacked necessarily. It wasn't that he wasn't able to get there. It was that he had a lot to learn. And that is so key to us in our careers, is that it's not necessarily where you start. It is how you get into it every day and you learn and you keep up and you get better and you continue that cycle, that forward momentum is how you end up having a successful career when all is said and done. It's not that you graduated top of your class in high school or college. If you did, high five, get yourself a smiley face or whatever. It's how you do after that really is your entire career. You can be really, trash in college and be awesome in your career, or vice versa. And I think that's like that message and how Samuel just really embraces that lifetime learner, I think was a great thing to have, a great discussion for us in this episode. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was actually kind of reminiscent too, in a way, because a lot of what he talked about is what we've gone through similarly, and we've talked through this a lot over the last decade on Developreneur. He was our 1000th episode. We went through the trenches with him, what he went through, how he almost quit. He almost left the industry altogether. And a lot of us have felt that with that imposter syndrome. And we talked about that. I talked about that a lot because changing not necessarily jobs, but you change, like your focus changes at work, where you have a new task that is outside your comfort zone. You just don't know where to go. And you may have the experience, but not in that particular area. So you're uncomfortable. And then you just don't know if you don't know what you don't know, or you are trying to do something that you really shouldn't be trying to do, But what was interesting about this one was, after we went through that, we got into the conversation about AI and how the realities of AI could actually really start producing imposters, because people could know how to talk to AI, but they can't do it, or they can't basically, once the rubber hits the road, they're left behind, because it's like, yes, I built you this car, but I don't know how to drive it.
And I think that's a very critical crack that AI exposes to some extent, or maybe allows those cracks to exist for a little bit, is that you can be a true imposter to some extent. And technology's allowed this for a while, between remote interviews and things like that, where it's for years now. There have been interviews where people talk about somebody like pausing for a minute, and you can hear them like furiously typing on a keyboard to go do a Google search or something like that. Well, you're going to have the same stuff with AI, and especially now that it can react so quickly, that you can flow right into a conversation and really not know too much what you're talking about. I mean, it's really tough, because I've had offline, like email and message conversations, where you can tell that there's AI on the other side. And I wonder how much this person understands what the conversation is. And I've had a few where I realized they really had no idea what they were doing. But I think even, at least when you're in a live kind of a conversation face to face, or even, phone call audio, there's still going to be enough delay, and there's just too much other stuff in a conversation. So I think it's going to create more need for the connections. But it really is I think that's a very interesting thing that he brought up, that may be one of the next waves, is all of these true imposters that are, and just like I'm seeing, and I'll throw this out there before your thoughts, is like, there are people that are using AI to generate personas in like Fans Only and all those kinds of places, where they can build a following based entirely off of a false premise, whether it's not really what they think or what they believe or how they look, or all of this stuff that you can fake it pretty well sometimes. And I think that's going to be part of what our goal is figuring out, how do we identify the AI, or separate the AI from the person? And maybe the other question to that is, do we need to? If somebody is good enough with AI that they can get the job done, do we care that they're using AI to do it or not? Your thoughts?
So it's kind of twofold. So one, the whole idea of the fake persona, the catfishing, the fake news, that's been going on pre-AI. The problem with that is AI is taking that to the next level. And unfortunately, I think we're about to like, you thought email spam was bad. I think we're going to get content spam at a level we're not ready for. But from a business perspective, from a work perspective, to a point, yes. However, we still need to be able to handle critical situations, keep the systems up and running and live. And even if you're faking it, you're not going to be able to maintain that, or not at a level that you're going to keep the systems up and keep the building from burning. I mean, it's like a firefighter running into a fire with a fire extinguisher versus a fire hose. So I am concerned right now. We're not there yet. Now, as AI develops better, and Claude and all these get better with software, and we keep building a system, sure, maybe. Oracle started this almost a decade ago. Actually, almost 15 years ago. In 2011, they talked about self-healing systems. They talked about building systems that would repair themselves, like databases that, systems are going down, let's move stuff around. and the systems themselves become self-sustaining. So we might be heading more in that direction where we start building software that's self-sustaining, but we're in that weird period where we could end up floundering and having the fakers could cause more damage than good. But you're right. I mean, we don't care as long as the work gets done, but we do care that the systems can be maintained and supported down the line.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's been a promise for a long time. I can think back, even before 2011. I think for quite a probably all the way back into the 80s and maybe even in the 70s, where there was the idea of self-healing systems of some sort and the ability for systems to fix themselves in that. We definitely got better as we got into the world of cloud platform as a service. A lot of that, your environment as code, those kinds of things make it a lot easier to have those kinds of systems. And those have been running now for quite a while and running pretty well in a lot of cases where things are able to dynamically contract and expand based on whatever the user load is.
So I have one more quick thing from our conversation with Samuel, just so we can keep this short. But one of the biggest things that I took from his conversation was, well, he struggled at his first job at Microsoft. One of the key things that made him survive was finding a mentor, finding that person that could help pull him back. It's like, yes, I've gone through those problems. Yes, I've dealt with this. And we've talked about that before. If you feel like you're running into imposter syndrome or you're struggling, not just with AI, but with anything, find someone else that's done it and see if they will work with you to help you understand some of the issues you're going through and help you survive the problems. Find that mentor, find that circle of friends to continue to push yourself and get better.
Yeah. Wow. Now we've got a couple of things to unpack there. So I think the first thing is that there is always a level of, this is why imposter syndrome is such an interesting one, I think there's always some level of fake it till you make it. That's the whole point, is you push yourself. You're gonna push on those edges and get yourself out of your comfort zone. That's how you grow. That's how you become better. And sometimes it's an easier process than you think. And I think that's where imposter syndrome can come in. Sometimes I think that's part of what AI, back to our other little prior topic here, was that this one can help out a little bit, is it can show you sometimes that it isn't magic. It's not that big a deal. It's really about understanding the process or understanding the systems or understanding what the right way is. And then once you do, the work is actually not that complicated. I think we're very quickly seeing that the technology side of it is very simple, is not the problem. That's not the challenge. If you're out there thinking that, I'm going to be able to code my way into being the best in the world, you're not, because AI is going to beat you to it. It's that stuff has gone out of the way. And I think that's important also important from an imposter syndrome point of view, is that you may be in a situation where you're suddenly going to be pushed because AI is going to take your comfort, your emotional support code away from you, because now you don't have that skill. That's not the skill they're leaning on. They're actually leaning on your thinking skills, your analysis skills, your design skills. And you're going to move up, I think, depending on where you're at, but in a lot of cases, you're going to move up faster than you normally would. And you're going to feel like, wait, I don't know that I'm not feeling right about this. I feel like somebody moved me before I should. Honestly, they probably did, but the whole point is, if you've got a strong foundation, then you can use that and leverage that to get to that next position. So take advantage of it, fight through it. And if you have doubts about why you're doing it or how you're doing it or anything like that, as Michael said, find a group, find a mentor. Mastermind groups are great. Mentor groups, or a mentor or a coach. All of these can help you out. Even just coworkers. Just sitting down and having lunch or some sort of a brown bag with coworkers, hear what they're struggling with and what they're seeing, and you're probably going to find that it's the same kind of stuff that you're struggling with. So you're not an imposter; you're just another person that is working hard and getting their job done. Challenge for this week. This one, because I want to go to this one. It's a little different from what we've done recently and go back to this whole idea of growth and things like that and the lifelong learner. So I think that my challenge this week is pick a topic, any topic, and learn, do a deep dive and learn it better. Give yourself, this is a little longer one. So over the week, give yourself, let's say, an hour. Pick a topic. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be like, I'll give you one, like, spent a conversation with my wife yesterday. We were talking about dog breeds and spent 30 to 45 minutes digging into histories of dog breeds. Totally useless information in the grand scheme of things. But it's the practice of learning more, of adding more information that you've got. And you can do it for your job. You can do it for something personal. You can do it for, just a lark. It could be something that's just a random question that comes to your head. And you're like, I think I need to learn more about it. Practice learning, take an hour, pick a topic, write a paper, submit it in no. But I would love to hear, you don't have to write a paper and everything, but what I would love to hear, shoot us an email or, leave us something here on the site is just a comment of like, what did you learn or what did you discover or what did you dig into? And feel free if you built something, if you want to show something off, throw it out there. Just show the world, they're like, look what I did. Because I think these are the kinds of things, those victories of learning something and spending a little time and going, wow, now I know more, are the great things that keep us in that lifelong learning process. Thoughts on the challenge?
Yeah, I love that idea. And one of the best ways to get started if you don't really think you have an idea or something to learn. My wife has something the other day, her roses were dying. And she's like, oh, I don't know why. I'm feeding them. I'm doing whatever it is. So we literally spent an hour going through AI and finding an app to go figure out that what's going on with her roses. So it doesn't necessarily have to be technology, but do something to go extend your knowledge with this challenge.
100%. And it's, like Michael said, it can be roses, it can be your grass, it can be, you name it. It can be a TV show or series, all kinds of stuff out there. Just pick something and do it, because I think you'll find the reward of now knowing something you didn't before you started this challenge. That being said, I'm going to stick to it. We're going to keep this shorter. We're going to let you get into your weekend, and you can start your learning endeavor even now. So use these extra bonus minutes to just do a little quick research, whether it's AI or Google search or whatever you do, dive into it. As always, go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.